Hi there, it's time for Tech Talk on this Rockingham Radio Network station. Curtis Duncan here, and it's a Tech Talk program, public affair program, and news item that we always have throughout the Northwest Tech College school session, school terms. It's still going on, brand new year, a lot of things happening. And to stay up with the Northwest Kansas Technical College, visit NWKTC.edu. NWKTC.edu. Carpentry is our big focus today, and I'll have the instructor introduce himself, and we'll be hearing from two students here in just a moment.
Oh, hey there, Joseph Dobbs, instructor for Carpentry.
Caught you, Buzz is taking a buzz nap there.
Yeah, sorry about that. No, we're here to kind of catch up and talk about what we've been working on. I think we were trying to remember on the way here that the last time we talked, we were either getting ready to start the tiny home or we just set block. So very first stages. So we do have an update. We've been busy on it. We have the house totally framed, which is a 2-story home, and I don't know if we talked about that last time we were here too, because the house has gone under how many changes, you guys, from the originals, like a lot. And really, I shouldn't complain, but that's part of real world experience, working with the customer. They see something and they go, well, can we try this? So what originally started as a tiny home concept, the joke in the department now is it's just a small house, because now it's a full 2-story with a full height in the second story. Normally in a tiny home, the top it's a loft and it's not a full head height. So it's a full 2-story house now. We're fully framed, wrapped in, and the inside is framed up too. So we've got all of our interior walls, stairs, everything ready to go. We are at a position now where we can pull out, and electrical, the other department at the college, is coming in and measured up all the material they need. And I believe they sent their order out earlier this week, and they're going to start pulling wire, and that lets us kind of step out and get out of the way. So that's where we're at in the house project.
Is this going to be Wi-Fi wired and everything else?
No, I don't think she's going that advanced. Just your classic pull-in wire. I think the only thing she's doing that would be fancy is she's doing an electrical water heater. She's doing some electrical floor heat in the bathrooms for like the tile. I think that's about as fancy she's getting, unless I'm drawing a blank on anything.
Well, that really sounds nice. It would be a good idea. Electric water heater, like hot water on demand, more or less.
Yes. Yep.
Those are great. How much are they? How much do they run? Do you know?
The one she picked out, I believe, was $1,200. So and again, you have to figure in whenever you bring something to the college, you're saving on labor costs. So out in the real world, if you were to hire a contractor, $1,200 for the material and probably another $1,500 to put in. So at her cost, it's only going to be $1,200, which is a pretty good deal.
Yeah,
we get the experience of that.
Yeah. Now, will that supply water for a washing machine?
Yes, this will bring heat to all of her. Let's see, her bathroom, kitchen, washer, and then bathroom upstairs.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
Pretty cool. Now, this originally started as a smaller home, and it's grown, so you've had to grow with it.
Yes, so I would say because of that, one of the big changes was the flooring system. So you're talking different span, different loads for that. Where a tiny home, you're talking maybe 8 foot wide. They're not very wide, and so on this, we're a full 20 by 25 is the dimensions of the house. So we needed floor joists now to cover that span and to go for the second floor. So load bearing stuff is probably the biggest thing that got affected because of those changes.
When do you hope to have this completely and done and ready to roll out on the truck?
We're hoping this semester. Electrical, as soon as they're done, we'll come on in, and the finish she's wanting to do on the inside is the shiplap. So that would actually speed things up instead of drywall, where drywall would take us a lot longer because there's so many stages in drywall. But if she lets us do shiplap, we'll get everything shiplapped in the inside. She has her flooring picked out, and then it's just a matter of paint, throw down flooring, and appliances. So it really should go pretty quick.
Okay, good. Well, we've got a couple of students to talk to. Let's start here and have you introduce yourself and where you're from.
I'm Jonathan Hopson. I'm from Monument, Kansas.
Not too far away.
Nope, not very far away, about an hour.
Yeah. Nice to have you with us, Jonathan. What got you interested in this program, the Carpentery program at Northwest Tech?
So I've helped my dad remodel a few houses, and he's a farmer and mechanic, and I saw how that life treated him and wasn't too interested in it, so I figured I'd do what I enjoyed while I was growing up. So
Good idea. Now, have you done some other projects with your dad, you said?
yeah, I remodeled our old house, or two of our old houses. So redid a dining room, two kitchens, and a living room, and then we actually moved our front door on one of our houses.
Now, moved your front door.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that. Well, sure, you could move anything, but a front door.
Yeah, we moved it from one side of the house to the other and got a smaller porch. It had a giant cement slab on at the beginning. So
Did you tell people you moved your front door?
no, I don't think so.
It was a surprise when they came.
Yeah, well, for a little while we had two front doors. So
Okay. I could imagine somebody visiting that hadn't been there for, well, the door was here last time I was here. Did they move it? Yeah, they did. Fun times.
oh yeah.
Now, what's your favorite part of this carpentry program? Do you kind of feel like you're doing better in one area than another, or are you just doing everything in all the areas?
I think a lot of our focus is the house that we're building, and just gaining experience and getting faster at what I know how to do is probably the two biggest things that I'm learning from it. So never done a flooring system before or roof, so that was two new things that I learned.
Do you feel pretty good when you strap on that tool belt?
The tool belt's a little heavy, but I like being able to take it off at the end of the day and look at what we did. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Now, I've seen tool belts with leather suspenders, too, that kind of help out.
Yep.
Like a harness kind of thing. The program, Jonathan, do you recommend it to other people that want to be in carpentry areas?
Oh, for sure. It's got, 15 of us, so it's not like a giant program where you can't get to the instructor, but it's not super small where there's nobody to help out when we need more hands-on project. So it's decent sized, and I think we're learning and flying right through projects that we need to do. So
Aren't you glad you're not outside working today?
oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I believe it. Jonathan Hobson from Monument, Kansas. We'll talk to you again in a minute. Let's switch over here to our other student at the Northwest Tech in the carpentry department. Your name and where you're from?
My name's ZANE RANKIN. I'm from Lamar, Colorado.
Lamar, and that's not far away either.
Nope.
How far, how many, like an hour or two?
Yeah, about 120 miles, 2 hours.
Okay. Now, what got you interested in this, Zane? I think you've visited with us before, but we want to hear it again.
Right. So one of my good friends from high school, Damien, he's also in the program. And I originally went to school in Nebraska last year to wrestle, and things didn't work out. Got injured, so wasn't really looking to stay there. Wasn't enjoying the schooling and wasn't going to be able to wrestle. So I hit up Damien, and he convinced me to come try carpentry at Northwest Tech. So here I am.
Here you are, yeah. What have you been doing? Any special part that you like to do better than others, or are you just, again, like Jonathan, learning it all?
Well, on the house, I mean, obviously, most of what we've been doing is the framing, and that's something that I really enjoy. The framing is a lot of fun to me, so I've really enjoyed doing that part, and I think it'll be fun to kind of get inside and start doing some of the finished work too, but I think by far framing's my favorite step of the house building process.
What do you think you'll do after school and you get your diploma? What are your plans? Do you have it looked at that far?
Yeah, so me and Damien, one of my buddies that's in the program, we're both planning to build a house this summer, actually. We've been looking for a piece of land back home in Lamar. I think we're going to be lucky enough to have our parents kind of help us out with that to get started. So we're looking to find a piece of land, and we've been working on plans, kind of on some software that we've been using online to develop some plans and blueprints for the houses that we want to build. So if we can get those signed off on by the city, we're hoping this summer we can start on our first house.
Great idea. And you're going to do that where?
Back home in Lamar is our plan. We want to go home and do our first one back home, and if all goes well, then we're hoping to maybe go up to Montana after the summer. So.
Is there a housing shortage up there?
Yeah, Great Falls, Montana. We've talked to a couple of realtors up there. They're doing a lot of expansion. They got a new college coming to town. They did a expansion to their power plant, and they also have a military base there that they just signed a 10-year plan to start building a missile. So they've got all these people coming and nowhere for them to stay. So we talked to some people, and they were really excited that there were people wanting to come and offer that service because they're at a shortage for houses right now.
Do you think it would be a lot of cookie cutter type houses once you get
spec
going?
homes is probably what we'd start out with. Just get a plan together for what we want to build and go build as many as fast as we can. Once we get to a spot where we feel like we can kind of start going off doing more like custom type homes and stuff like that, that might be an option. But for now, we kind of just want to get one set of plans of what we want to build and kind of just roll with that for a little while.
I know when the Rock Island Railroad went through Goodland with their passenger trains, their stock trains, that the railroad built what they called the coffee can houses. Had 4 rooms, and you'll see some of them are still in existence in Goodland. Maybe you go on a field trip or at least drive by those houses, and they're still there. So yeah, it's here's a house here, and they all resemble each other, just a little bit different looking at them. Zane, it's going to be fun. You'll be working with the inside. What about, now you were talking about designing your house. Have you got to the point where you think, oh, this is just right, we've got it down to a pinpoint where we want it, or do you change it a lot?
So the basic like floor layout, floor plan, we've kind of got that pretty set how we want it. We haven't really messed around with any finished work as far as cabinets or flooring, paint color, siding color, or anything like that. But what we're really trying to do is just get those plans together so we can get a basic layout and floor plan so we can kind of come up with a material list to be able to frame it up and get to about the stage that we're at with our tiny home right now, just kind of get the bones up, then we can start picking out finished stuff from there.
Yeah, I'll do that later on.
Right.
Yeah, door handles and
yeah.
There's a lot of things to pick out when you put the house together.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think more than maybe some people realize.
Yeah, there's a lot of little details. Think about your fasteners and hangers and stuff not a lot of people think about.
What kind of hinges for the bathroom, what kind of hinges for the restroom, and
right.
All this, yeah, amazing. What else? Anything else you wanted to share with us, Zane?
No, it's kind of where I'm at right now as far as how school's going and what I'm planning on doing. So,
well, good luck. It sounds like quite a job. Well, stay in touch with us. Either way, I think that'll be good to kind of maybe follow you. Here's what the tech college student's doing in Montana. He's built 10 homes in 2 weeks.
For sure.
Now that's a project. I really want to talk to you if you get that done.
All right.
Okay. Well, let's get back to our instructor here on the radio network, Rockingham Radio Network, on Tech Talk. The field trips, you going to do any field trips?
Yeah, we actually, well, Big John just said some. We were looking at some woodwork on Instagram right before we started pressing record. We might hit that guy up. There's a place, 2 companies over in Colby that are interested in working with us and partnering and kind of setting up scholarships with our students. That'd be Stevens Construction and then Architectural Woodwork over at Colby. So Stevens is a big, are they commercial or residential? Commercial or both. And they need workers. And so they're interested in hooking up with us, and it'd be good for the students to see what they do and kind of meet them in person, Then the other one is, I believe we mentioned him the last time, but he is big on passive homes, really energy efficient windows and doors, and so they custom build this stuff, the real thick, heavy duty things. And for one, I want to go just because I'm a geek and I want to see his setup, but that'd be good for the students as well, because same story, he's wanting to grow and he needs workers bad. So
wow, good planning. So what, and you hope to have a little tiny house done. What was the price on this? Can we talk about that? Yeah. Do you have a budget?
It's kind of a yes and no. So yes, in the sense that they have money set aside and ready to go. And we're, God, you could vary because you can drop stuff in kitchens and bathrooms. So if I were to give a ballpark, I would say 40 to 60,000. But there are a couple special things that they want to put in here. Like some of the tile work in the bathroom is going to be real custom work. The heating underneath the tile, things like that. The shiplap is going to be a little bit pricier. So we're probably looking at that higher end on that ballpark. Which reminds me, I think you made a comment at the beginning about, just materials and prices and what's been affected. And we're still seeing the effects of COVID mess with material. So that shiplap that she wants to do, we priced it out to save her money. What's going to save her is should we just buy shiplap that's ready, it's cut, and it's ready to just install? Or since she does not have to pay labor for us, do we buy lumber and then we take it to our department, and who cares how long it takes us to cut it and router it because the labor's free? Well, COVID affect some material was in high demand, so the cost went up, and then some stayed low. Shiplap that's cut and ready to go is actually cheaper than one buy. So it's actually cheaper to buy that instead of us cutting it up and doing it ourselves. So it's interesting to see how COVID's still affecting cost of material.
What about shipping, ordering and shipping? Has that been a problem lately in the last couple of years?
I would say the only thing, it has been, and the only thing that is holding us up right now is doors and windows. It's taken a little bit, but it's real timely because I mentioned earlier, we're at a spot where we have to pull outside of the house and let the electrical department get in. So I can't really complain about being held up. It worked out perfect, and it kind of keeps us out of the cold. So I'm going to take it.
Great idea. The students, you have a lot more students for next year?
Yeah, we're on track. I think the last report I saw was 23 students coming in. So, and that's total, first and second year combined. But that'd be good. One of my goals is to get that department booming and get numbers up.
Good. That's what we want. Now, as far as students today, are they working in the classroom or doing blueprints, drawing, or?
Yeah, we're taking this time that we're at a standstill, and we're finishing up a lot of projects in-house. We had some remodel stuff we need to finish in our shop. John, I don't know if you want to talk about it or not, but I told the students now is the time to kind of bring in your own. If you got something personally you wanted to work on, we got students building some nightstands. We're building an entertainment center. I mean, there's kind of a whole group of things. But Jonathan is building or restoring a wood table that's been in his family 100 years, over 100 years.
Yeah, let's hear about that.
Yeah,
Jonathan, tell us a restoration of a table, an old table, huh?
Yeah, so it's a leafed table. It's actually a tilt deck table, so you can pick the whole face of the table up and reach the leaves without crawling underneath. And it's been in my family somewhere around 100 years. Actually bought it in Colby, I think, at like a Schroeder furniture company or something like that. It's still got its tag still intact, and you can read most of the words still on it. So just slowly restoring it and trying not to ruin anything that still has information on it. Had to rebuild a few pieces of it. And
how's it going so far? You about done with it?
I'd say about a quarter of the way done. The hardest part so far has been probably taking the lacquer finish off the top of it. I had to go get a chemical remover and pull the top off of it, but everything's just kind of at a slow going point. I'm trying to rebuild the legs so I can stand it up and inspect the damages of the extension portions and see what I need to do for that.
Is there a lot of woodworking, scroll work, and fancy figures and corners and everything?
It's not super fancy. There's a few cool details on it, but most of it's been pretty well squared off, or maybe a rounded corner here and there, but nothing too intricate.
Well, yeah, because we've both seen really fancy tables that woodwork around the bottom of it, and the legs are just amazing. Big oak tables. My grandparents had one that would hold 4 leaves, and of course they only came out during Easter, Christmas, and Thanksgiving. The rest of the time it was a shorter table.
Yeah. This table's fully closed in. It's probably a 4-person table, and then it's got 7 or 8 leaves that are 8 inches wide, so it can hold quite a few people when it's fully extended.
Could be ready and serve your family well.
Yes, good Thanksgiving dinner table.
Sure. Zane, Rankin, do you have a local project that you're working on, or have you thought about that?
Me and Damien, we've been building some cornhole sets for people out in the community. We posted an ad just on Facebook offering custom cornhole sets. So we just finished up with a set for a guy here in town last week. Built him a nice custom set. Just been kind of taking those on as people hit us up and ask for them, and then we've also just been kind of working on some side jobs out in the community for some different people. So that's kind of what we're doing to stay busy while we're at a little bit of downtime in the shop. Just cornhole boards and whatever little side projects we can find.
Very good. Yeah, that'll be important when spring gets here and summer.
Right.
Great. All right. Anything else, guys? We'll wind it up here with our instructor. What anything new planned for next year?
Well, I guess the only thing what I'd like people to know that's listening is, man, come. I think I say this every time, honestly. Come tour. Come look at what we're doing. Come tour the shop. Come tour the house. The house is on the south end of the college, right by the fitness center. I'd be more than happy to give you a walkthrough at any point in time. It is a little cold now, so if you wanted to wait a month or two and maybe we'll be better weathered in, we could do that as well. And then to anyone listening too that would be interested in have us guest speak, I just got a fill in at the high school a couple Fridays ago and talked to a class of seniors. I eat that stuff up. I love getting out there and talking to students. So if anyone interested in that, we'd be more than happy to come to you if you can't come to us. So
very nice. All right. Well, good luck, guys. Hope everything works out well for you and get that tiny house all taken care of. Which is now not so tiny, but it's still going to be movable on a big truck, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good enough. Thanks, guys. And that is our Tech Talk program for today on the Rockingham Radio Network. I'm Curtis Duncan. Thank you so much for being along. This is a public affair of Rockingham Radio Network.